A groom has caused a bit of controversy online after admitting he didn't want to waste money on a babysitter on his wedding day, meaning his wife spent most of their special day looking after the children. Some have suggested kids shouldn't even have been at the wedding so the couple could actually relax and enjoy the day together. I'm not sure how you feel about this. Is it a bit of a selfish thing on the dad's behalf here?
I would have married him.
It would have gone that far.
It would have gone that far. Or I'd have said, OK, if you don't want to pay the money or you don't think it's worth the money to pay for a nanny on our wedding day, that's fine, but you're looking after the kids.
Yeah.
Like, why is it then it means that she's looking after the kids? But as having your own kids at your wedding, I definitely would, and I did. You know, Kira was my flower girl. I mean, the boys were older when I got married the second time, but I had her as the flower girl, but I had enough relatives there, like all her aunties and her cousins, that I never saw Kira all day, really. And at night, she slept in her auntie's room and with the other kids, and so I never really saw her till the next day, but it was lovely. I'd hate her not to have been a part of our day. Yeah. But equally, people that bring kids to weddings, oh, it's when they bring tiny babes in arms who scream all through the ceremony and they don't leave.
And I think,
please take the child out.
Yeah, see, my daughter, we had one child before we got married and she was 2, and I wanted to be really present for my wedding day. I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to spend time and have a laugh with the guests. So we let my daughter come, but we hired a babysitter. You know, so she participated herself. She danced till she was tired. She went to bed. But yeah, I wouldn't want it to be in charge of her the whole day because I would have been submersed in looking after her.
What would you have done if she had a tantrum just as you were doing your... you said she was 2, and 2's an age, even I know, where kids have terrible twos. Terrible twos. What would you have done if your daughter had a strop right in the middle of you doing your vows?
I would have asked the babysitter to take her outside the church into the foyer because a lot of people have travelled far for that day. It's taken a year's preparation. Yeah, and the guests as well that have come to share it with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine to do that. You know?
I've been to so many weddings where, you know, so much planning has gone into the wedding. You're an incredible church in the countryside. Everybody's got really dressed up. And one person has got a screaming brat and everybody is just thinking, muscle that child or take that child out.
That's a bit like this panel, though, isn't it? There's always one screaming brat on the panel.
Thank you.
I didn't mention names.
So you just gave
you just owned that then.
Look,
you just owned it.
The person on the panel who hasn't got a child, I just think that tiny children at weddings, the ceremony itself is a nightmare.
And then some people want to be there and don't have childcare. No, it's a shame for them.
Yeah, that's true too. But also, though, if it's stressful for the parents who's looking after this. It's like we were talking earlier about flights. I hate nothing more than thinking I'm ruining someone else's experience because my child is crying.
Yeah, it's stressful for you.
It's stressful for me then, so you can't quite relax and enjoy it the way that you want to.
So you are a really good example of a thoughtful mother. But I live near some people who've got 2 small children, under 5, who think it's perfectly acceptable for their children to go in the back garden at 7:15 in the morning on a trampoline and jump up and down screaming. And I just... What's OK about that?
I mean, that's not early for children, 7:15.
That's half 5.
I was going to say, and also it's their garden and their trampoline.
Yeah, but my garden is my sacred space and it's next door. So why... I'm quiet in my garden.
Why don't you live on a child-free street?
Well, I don't even want to live next door to a trampoline because I have to look out my window and look at this eyesore, this complete eyesore. I think that why don't they just put trampolines in special parks for kids to go to?
Well, you know where you can find a child-free street? Retirement home.
I've got the number.
This show is supposed to be honouring you, Katie, but I'm rapidly learning that Colleen Nolan has poisoned your mind.
I had my 2 stepdaughters at ours, and they were young at the time. And actually, some of our best photographs are with them because we did our first dance. I wouldn't say quite dance, but we got up and did that. And they sort of jumped in with us.
Yeah, I love
We've got a gorgeous picture of that, and I'd have hated not to have had that.
Yeah.
But like you say, with loads of family with us and everything else, so it wasn't. They were up dancing until about midnight, I think.
Maybe get them to have the pictures and then leave.
Yeah, that's it. Get the memory and then, exactly.